कार्य कारण कृत्रित्वे sorry कार्य कारण कृत्रित्वे हेतुः Sorry, Prabhuji. I sing it again. कार्य कारण कृत्रित्वे हेतुः प्रकृतिरुच्यते पुरुषः सुख दुःखानां भोक्तृत्वे हेतुरुच्यते. Torsionolam translation and purport by Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada. Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Karya of effect, karna and cause. Pratritve in the matter of creation. Hetuhu the instrument. Prakriti material nature. Uchyate is said to be. Purushaha the living entity. Sukha of happiness. Dukkhana and distress. Bhoktaritve in enjoyment. Hetuhu the instrument. Uchyate is said to be. So, of effect and cause. In the matter of creation, the instrument, material nature, is said to be. The living entity of happiness and distress in enjoyment, the instrument, is said to be. Translation. Nature is said to be the cause of all material causes and effects, whereas the living entity is the cause of the various sufferings and enjoyment in this world. Purport. The different manifestations of body and senses among the living entities are due to material nature. There are 8.4 different million different species of life, and these varieties are creations of the material nature. They arise from the different sensual pleasures of the living entity, who thus desires to live in this body or that. When he is put into different bodies, he enjoys different kinds of happiness and distress. His material happiness and distress are due to his body and not to himself, as he is. In his original state, there is no doubt of enjoyment. Therefore, that is his real state. Because of the desire to lord it over material nature, he is in the material world. In the spiritual world, there is no such thing. The spiritual world is pure, but in the material world, everyone is struggling hard to acquire different kinds of pleasures for the body. It might be more clear to state that this body is the effect of the senses. The senses are instruments for gratifying desire. Now, the sum total body and the instrument senses is offered by material nature, and as will be clear in the next verse. The living entity is blessed or damned with circumstances according to his past desire and activity. According to one's desires and activities, material nature places one in various residential quarters. The being himself is the cause of his attaining such residential quarters, and his attendant enjoyment or suffering. Once placed in some particular kind of body, he comes under the control of material nature. Material control of nature, because the body being matter acts according to the laws of nature. At that time, the living entity has no power to change the laws. Suppose an entity is put into the body of a dog. As soon as he is put into the body of a dog, he must act like a dog. He cannot act otherwise. And if the living entity is put into the body of a hog, then he is forced to eat stool and act like a hog. Similarly, if the living entity is put into the body of a demigod, he must act according to his body. This is the law of nature. But in all circumstances, The super soul is with the individual soul. That is explained in the Vedas. Mundaka Upanishad, Canto 3, Chapter 1, Verse 1, as follows. Dva supa, Suparna Sayujya Sakhya. The Supreme Lord is so kind upon the living entity that he always accompanies the individual soul and in all circumstances is present as the super soul or Paramatma. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Gurudev ki jai. So, but I have realized that there are 2 points here in this verse. That the first is that nature is cause and effects of all material activities. And second is that living entity is cause of suffering and happiness. Srila Prabhupada are explaining that how that there are 8.4 million species that's created because living entity desire to live in these bodies, and thus happiness and distress due to bodies, not due to the living entity. Another point is that one in any particular body, once in any particular body, the living entity comes under the material nature control. He cannot change the laws of nature. That's why we experience laws of nature are very strict and forced upon us. We do not want to grow old, but the old age comes. Same like we do not get disease, the diseases comes. We do not want to die, but the death comes and takes away everything. So material takes away everything materially. So we have to identify this. So this is due to uh, because we identify with ourselves with the body and act according to the body's nature and that particular species. In reality, we are not this body. This knowledge we getting to realize and finding out how modes are working on us and how we can get out of this mess. Material nature by itself is not causing us suffering. It is us as a living entity who wants to enjoy separately from Krishna. So material nature providing us different bodies. Now in all these, the super soul is with us, no matter in which body we are. Srila Prabhupada are saying that the Supreme Lord is so kind upon that he is with living beings always, that he is accompanying and with this individual soul, and in all circumstances is present as a Paramatma. So the super soul is present everywhere throughout the material creation, because without the super soul nothing is possible. It is the super soul from which we are getting energy. It is super soul that every atom is moving. If the super soul is not present, we cannot survive here even a moment. Srila Prabhupada are saying that the spiritual world is pure and there is no such thing. So over there, no need of super soul, as everything is pure and illuminated by effulgence of the Lord. So this verse talks about how the living entity and uh, are responsible for our um, for this situation where is experiencing happiness or suffering. We have no one to blame, but the Lord hasn't forget us. Although we have forget Him, and that's why we are suffering here. But Lord hasn't forgetting us, and He is present as a Paramatma, super soul, with us all the time and guiding us. So these are the 2 points probably I have realized. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Vodi. Hare Krishna. So we are at nearly 8:30 now. Anyone want to say anything? Avinash, you want to say something? You feel prepared?
You want me to speak on this Vice versa, Prabhuji, or something else.
If you're prepared, then you
No,
can show a few minutes.
I've prepared, but it will take
That's
10
it.
minutes. To,
Yeah, take few.
do you want me to talk to my realization?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, brother, thank you. Thank you, Amnish Prabhu. We're studying chapter 13, verse number 21. कार्य कारण कर्तृत्वे हेतु प्रकृति उच्यते पुरुषः सुख दुःखानां भोक्तृत्वे हेतु उच्यते कार्य कारणे कर्तृत्वे हेतु प्रकृति उच्यते पुरुषः सुख दुःखानां भोक्तृत्वे हेतु उच्यते. Translation. Nature is said to be the cause of all material causes and effects, whereas the living entity is the cause of various suffering and enjoyment in this world. So when I was preparing for this verse, I missed last week class. So Krishna is basically clarifying the concepts of the Sankhya philosophy, and that how all the ingredients are working, how all the elements are working, and what is the role, and why everything is happening. And then Prabhupada had written in the beginning of this chapter, purport somewhere, that if you want to know more, you have to study more, you have to find more information about Bhagavatam somewhere. So, and this is which Sanjeev Prabhu has very nicely shared the how it is working in super soul and all those things. So here, nature is said to be the cause of all material causes. Nature means material nature, and which is the cause of all causes, whereas the living entity is the cause, which is super. The soul is suffering because it's getting the body, and so this topic is so important. I feel that uh, even in Bhagavatam, this keeps coming back. That's nature. And Kapil Maharaj speaks elaborately on this. And I've heard on this particular topic from Amrish Prabhu when he was giving classes in temple and all that thing. And where this nature is how everything is working. And so our and even in Bhagavatam, even in the Canto 11, towards the end, also when Krishna is preaching or telling Uddhav Maharaj, he's also talking the same thing, nothing new, same topic, same again. So it means this topic is so important so that we can understand our constitutional position and we can improve by doing some basic things, and rest will fall in place. That's what I'm thinking. So in this, I've got two verses also where Kapil Maharaj is talking to his mother, and where he's saying, and when the Prabhupada write full lines, a couple of lines which I would like to read, explaining the same concept. So I was overwhelmed when I was reading this. That yeah, this is such an important topic to understand these basic concepts. So that verse is number 2 verse. Sa esa yari prakrite gunesu abhivisjate अहंकारिया विभूणात्मा कर्तास्मीति अभिमन्यते. So again, sa esa yarti prakriti, nature. Again, the same thing is coming here. And translation, Prabhupada writes here, when the soul is under the spell of material nature and false ego, identifying his body as the self, he becomes absorbed in material activities. And by the influence of the false ego, he thinks that he is the proprietor of everything. So Prabhupada had written same message in the purport, same thing, that how this entire thing is working, how the material nature, and that and then couple of lines from purport, where Prabhupada very nicely writes. So I want to refer that also for the benefit of all of us. Actually, the conditioned soul is forced to act under the pressure of modes of material nature. So material nature they start getting modes because of the ego. Actually, the conditioned soul is forced to act under the pressure of the modes of material nature. The living entity has no independence. When he is under the direction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is free. But when under the impression that he is satisfying his senses, engaging in sense gratificatory activities, he is actually under the spell of material nature. So how simple, in what a simple way Prabhupada writes, our independence is actually our entanglement. And this we have studied this, we have discussed this. More we depend on Krishna, more independent we become, more free we have become. And in the next verse also, where Kapil Muni is talking about the same topic, and I found very relevant to same, which Krishna is talking, same thing, Kapil Maharaj is talking, and then Prabhupada is talking. So yeah. So and I don't know what made Parishit Maharaj to listen to all those things. He must be knowing this. Means that's what probably devotees enjoy, listening to same thing and again and again. I don't know why, but yeah, it's very interesting. Tena samsara padavim avaso abhyeti anivritah prasangikaiha karma doshaiha sad asan mishra yonishu, mishra bhakti. The translation: the conditioned soul therefore transmigrate into different species of life. So this further to that previous verse we studied. The conditioned soul therefore transmigrates into different species of life, higher and lower, because of his association with the modes of material nature. Unless he is relieved of the material activities, he has to accept this position because of his faulty work. So this is the solution, that cause and effect. No, this is how it works. And the nature is cause and effect, and the living entity is suffering because they are making choices. And Prabhupada again write few lines which are very nice. Here the word karma doshai means the by faulty actions. This refers to any activity, good or bad, performed in material world. They're all contaminated, faulty actions because of material association. The foolish conditioned soul may think that he's offering charity by opening hospital or material benefit, or by opening an education institution for material education, but he does not know that all such work is also faulty, because it will not give him relief from a process of transmigration from one body to another. The same thing Prabhupada is giving formula and explaining, which we keep studying. And these are the basics of Krishna consciousness. The whole purpose of doing all this activity, whatever we are doing, chanting 16, 20, 40, whatever rounds, doing arti, doing this and this, the purpose is to change our consciousness. And the consciousness will change when we understand this concept, and as Amrish Babu said, digest this. So that's what I wanted to share, Babu. Thank you, Babu. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, thank you very much, dear devotees, for wonderful realizations. Now, anyone has any questions on this verse, please? Any points? Hare Krishna. Okay, Hare Krishna. Let us conclude today's discussion then. Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is ki jai.
Jai,
Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Jai,
Jai.
Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai.
Jai.
Jai,
Eva Gurudev ki jai.
Jai.
Means translation and purpose by Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada, our Savior, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Shri Nitai Gaur Chandra Premanande. Hari Hari.
Hare.
Hare Hare.
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Hare.
Hare.